Hello guys, welcome back. Again, this is Herminio and I'm excited to share another topic today. And again, if you're new to this channel, I would like to invite you to subscribe, like, and share and comment. Give your amazing comments so that we can try to innovate, improve our future presentations for your wishes and needs. So again, this is Herminio and this is Cooperative History in a World Context. Now, the establishment of cooperatives started when there are people who have the same needs and try to come up solutions of these needs. And that's, cooperatives or cooperative organizations were formed. And the cooperative societies were created long before the advent or the coming of the fair trade movement to help workers improve their livelihoods and protect their interests. Now, one historical happening or movement or an event in the world history that really changed how we look at organizations is on the time when the industrial revolution came into into the world history, into the world events. So when industrial revolution took place in the 1800s and onwards, now people realize that there are so much disparity or there are so much inequality between rich and poor. So that's why the working class during this time tries to unite to come up with their form of organization in contrast with what is the common type of organizations, the corporations owned by the capitalists. The common people, the working class, organized themselves during the Industrial Revolution and come up with ideas of cooperative or the cooperative movement. Now, this is the birth of cooperative society. So the Industrial Revolution triggered the birth of cooperative societies. Now, when it was established, the first cooperatives, if you try to look into history, were founded right at the start also of the Industrial Revolution. And then another factor also that I would like to share is when most of the countries are breaking from monarchical type of organizations, when countries of the world tries to become democratic in the way they try to govern their nations. This is, I think, another reason for the birth of cooperatives when countries from the monarchical form tries to depart from this highly autocratic form of government and form democratic societies. Again, this is also the reason of the birth of cooperatives. So the growth of democracies around the world, the Industrial Revolution, I think, triggers the formation of cooperatives. So in 1769, the first documented consumer cooperative uh, was born. That is in Fenwick, East Ayrshire, a barely furnished cottage. A small group of people started to build the first cooperative, which is known the Fenwick Weavers Society. So most of them are local weavers. Now in 1810, Reverend Henry Duncan of Rochdale, a pastor of the Presbyterian Church in Dumfriesshire, Scotland, uh, founded or started a cooperative depository institution. It is a friendly society where parishioners hold savings accounts accruing interest for sickness and old age. And later, this cooperative became a savings bank and merged into a trustee savings bank between 1970 and 1985. So there are really cooperatives that were organized in the 1800s and still in existence today. And this is one of the example. So this is the predecessor of the earliest form of a financial type and savings type cooperative. Now, in 1812, in Lennoxtown, a friendly victualling society were founded. In 1830s, there came hundreds of cooperatives. So really in 1830s, this is where the cooperative movements blossomed so much. However, most of them in 1840s also uh, failed, and of course, very few um, of them lasted up to our time. Now, in in 1832, the Lockhurst Lane Industrial Cooperative Society, now the Heart of England Cooperative Society, was founded. Also, the Galashiels and Howe Cooperative Societies. In 1839, or the earlier part of this period, the above cooperative merged with the cooperative group. So the two that I've mentioned, the Galashiels and Howe Cooperative Societies were merged. So imagine they're founded in 1830s, but still surviving. But many of them really uh, died out. They were not able to survive up to the present day. Now, one very important and a very important name of a society is the Rochdale Pioneers of England, because this group that were founded in 1844 by 28 men. They call themselves the Rochdale Pioneers, or the Rochdale Society of Equitable Pioneers. They were weavers and skilled workers, and of course in other trades. They created the business principles of cooperative. They call that one the Rochdale Principle, which we will be having in our next videos, to guide their work and establish a shop in which to sell their goods. So these are the few, the 13 of the original members of the Rothschild pioneers. And now this is the place in the United Kingdom, the Rochdale, and you can find there the birthplace of cooperation. So remember what makes them important. This Rochdale group is that they formulated the principle, the cooperative principle, which we are still using up to the present. Now, the Rochdale Pioneers of England started with 28 people, and they contributed £1 per person as their share capital. So if we try to calculate, if there's 60 pesos, for example, 60 pesos per pound with 28 people, so they have barely 1,000 um, 1,500 plus pounds. Now, in December 2021, 1844, they opened their store with a very meager selection of, these are the things that they sold: butter, sugar, flour, oatmeal, and a few candles. So within 3 months, they expanded their selection to include tea, tobacco, and they were so known for providing high quality, unadulterated goods. So there's an indicator that in a very short time, the cooperative really grew. Now, next is in 1872, the Rochdale Pioneers became known as the Cooperative Wholesale Society, CWS. In 1990s, share of the market declined and with issues of fraud among its executives. But in 2000, the CWS, or the Cooperative Wholesale Society, merged with the UK's second largest society, the Cooperative Retail Services, and it is still uh, in existence up to now. So the Rochdale Society really lived for more than 100 years. So the cooperative banks, called credit unions in the US, were invented in Germany. You see, and in 1852, founded a credit union in the urban area, Franz Hermann Scholz Delights, and in 1864, another one founded a credit union or cooperative banks in the rural area, Franz Wilhelm Raiffeisen. So these are German people who started cooperative banks in the US, in urban and in rural areas. Now, in the United States, the first known co-op was the Mutual Fire Insurance Company, founded in 1752 by a well-known, of course, founder of the U.S. Nation government, the Benjamin Franklin. So, in the U.S., it is so notable that the first co-op is known as the Mutual Fire Insurance Company and was founded by no other than Benjamin Franklin, 1752. In 1810, the first dairy co-op was founded. In 1845, the first known consumer co-op in And in 1845 was Boston's Workmen's Protective Union. So these are all the first co-ops in the US. Now, again, in the United States, the first credit unions were in Massachusetts. In 1916, the Cooperative League of the United States of America, which is known today as the National Cooperative Business Association, was founded. Now, let's go to the notable figures. I'd like to share with you a few of these people. The first in the line is Robert Owen, which is considered the father of cooperative movement. So he's a Welshman who made his fortune in the cotton trade, and Owen believed in putting his workers in a good environment with access to education for themselves and their children. And these ideas were put into effect successfully in the cotton mills of New Lanark, Scotland. So it was here that the first cooperative store was opened, and spurred on by the success of this, he had the idea of forming villages of cooperation. So where workers would drag themselves out of poverty by growing their own food, making their own clothes, and ultimately becoming self-governing. So he tried to form such communities in Orbiston in Scotland and in New Harmony, Indiana in the US, but unsuccessfully both of them failed. So again, as I told you before, many cooperatives that were born in the 1830s, organized in 1830s, and but were not successful and later died. So next is on the next person is William King. So William King was born in 1786 and died in 1865, and he founded a monthly periodical called the Cooperator. So this is the like a journal for cooperative societies. So it was the first edition was on May 1, 1828. So this gave a mixture of cooperative philosophy and practical advice about running shop using cooperative principles. Second to the last are the people who are founders of the Rochdale Society of Equitable Pioneers. Again, they are a group of 10 waivers and 20 others or 18 others who started to come up with a very important uh, very important principle, the cooperative principle, which we still use today. And in 1844, they built the cooperative in 1844 in Rochdale, England. And lastly, in order to unite the cooperative, the ICA or the International Cooperative Alliance was formed in 1895 with these two people, Evie Neal of Rochdale and Edward Owen Greening. So again, by Evie Neal of the Rochdale Group Societies, and we have Edward Owen Greening. I hope you enjoy and you learn something today. So watch out for our next video on cooperatives and other topics in research, in your love life, and so on. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to click subscribe and share and give your comments. Click the notification bell and choose all. And this is Herminio signing off. Bye-bye.